Bienvenidos a todos, hermanos y hermanas hispanohablantes. Donald Trump está enfrentando una nueva ola de rechazo, incluso en estados profundamente republicanos, después de que los votantes conservadores, podcasters de MAGA y comunidades enteras comenzaran a explotar públicamente contra sus políticas económicas y sus nuevos proyectos tecnológicos. Pero lo que comenzó a pasar en lugares como Luisiana, Utah, Georgia y Pensilvania está generando demasiada tensión política. Donald Trump está recibiendo un duro despertar por parte de los estados, ya saben, rojo intenso de estos republicanos y de los podcasters republicanos de MAGA que se están volviendo en su contra. Donald Trump ha destruido el sueño americano, ha destruido el modo de vida de millones de estadounidenses y la gente está evidentemente furiosa. También están furiosos con Donald Trump y con la Corte Suprema de la derecha por destripar la ley de derechos de votantes y ahora eliminar todos los distritos electorales afrodescendientes. Un retroceso a la era de Jim Crow. Quiero mostrarles lo que está pasando ahora mismo en todo el país. Quiero centrarme en los estados rojos, o sea, estados republicanos, y también en los estados péndulo. Primero, permítanme llevarlos a Luisiana, donde un residente que se identificó como Moran pronunció un discurso ardiente y emotivo ante los legisladores durante una audiencia del Senado estatal sobre la redistribución de distritos, específicamente sobre cómo la legislatura republicana de MAGA quiere deshacerse de todos los distritos electorales negros, tras la decisión de la Corte Suprema de los Estados Unidos en el caso Luisiana contra Kelly, destruyendo la ley de derechos de votación y devolviendo el país a Jim Crow, al pasado horroroso de esta nación. Permítanme mostrarles lo que ocurrió.
I have no doubt in my mind that the map's gonna pass. If y'all can give us less than 0 seats, you would do it. Y'all do this under the orders of somebody that said the Civil Rights Act was harmful to white people, that it caused reverse racism. RFK said that black children are overfilled on antidepressants and that they need to be reparented on different farms, all of them. Pete Hegseth constantly brings Doug Wilson to the Pentagon to give a prayer service. Doug Wilson is the same pastor that said that slave owners were on strong spiritual ground. I don't have no belief in no morality on anybody that followed Donald Trump. If you wasn't with this map, you wouldn't be underneath this president. You wouldn't be in your party. You would stand up. You would stand against it. You would speak out about it. So as far as I'm concerned, if you here as one of these Trump Republicans, you already showed us who you are. You showed us what you want to do. And I believe the country as a whole is rebuking your party. Y'all are in a death spiral. That's why y'all have to redistrict. That's why y'all have to cheat. That's why Trump got to go to Texas and say he entitled to 5 more seats. It's because y'all know what y'all doing is abhorrent. We letting our people die in Iran based on false pretense that Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent say it ain't real. Y'all okay with all that. So I'm positive y'all gonna be okay with the maps. But the beautiful thing is, the children that y'all have made and the people that's younger than y'all don't support none of this racism that y'all want. The MAGA party is the last breath of the Confederacy. And I'll be happy to see millennials and Gen Z bury y'all. There will be no more of your party. The midterms gonna come, y'all gonna get wiped out. Trump gonna get dragged out of the White House, and I'm gonna love every second of it. Because y'all loved every second of the suffering that he caused to everybody in this country. And worldwide, we starve in Cuba. We bomb Nigeria. We hold in Zimbabwe and Zambia hostage for their minerals. We don't wanna give them aid support. The pro-lifers that say all life is special, y'all letting kids die of AIDS. What part of your Bible say that? Point out the scripture. I think everybody would love to see it. And we would love to see y'all in the midterms.
Ahora quiero mostrarles lo que ocurrió en el centro de Florida de tendencia roja, o sea republicana, durante un discurso de grabación. Una ejecutiva del sector de salud llamada Gloria Claufier habló sobre inteligencia artificial ante los estudiantes. Ellos no lo aceptaron. Específicamente, la gente en todo el país, de forma bipartidista, está lívida, está cabreada, está enojada con la IA, más que todo con la IA no regulada de Donald Trump y con sus centros de datos no regulados que están quitando empleos y dañando el medio ambiente. Estamos viendo esto de forma bipartidista. Vean cómo la oradora está tan confundida mientras que la gente le está abucheando. Bueno, abuchea a la IA. Y es porque esta IA no está regulada y es peligrosa. Observen cómo la oradora ni siquiera pensó que esto está arrebatando el futuro de estos estudiantes ante lo que ella está hablando. Miren, por favor.
Rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. Oh, whoa. What happened? Okay, I struck a chord. May I finish? Only a few years ago, AI was not a factor in our lives. Okay. All right. Okay.
Ahora, hablando de estados republicanos, permíteme llevarlos a Utah, donde un centro de datos masivos de Kevin O'Leary fue aprobado por una comisión del condado la semana pasada. More Perfect Union hace un espectacular trabajo cubriendo la proliferación de centros de datos y cómo dañan el modo de vida de los estadounidenses. Todos saben lo que los centros de datos están haciendo en sus comunidades. Nuevamente, de forma bipartidista, esto está siendo protestado. Permítanme mostrarles lo que está sucediendo cuando la comisión aprobó esta instalación de 40.000 acres, 2.5 veces el tamaño de Manhattan. Verán a todos allí abucheando y esto es bipartidista, amigos. Recuerden, miren por favor.
False. All of this is false. Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us ask questions? It's false. Yes. This is not real information. And we sit here like it's okay. It's a charade. It's a charade. It's false.
Y luego hablemos de lo que está pasando en Georgia, que por supuesto es un estado péndulo, pero a nivel gubernamental superior está dirigido por republicanos. Ahora están invocando el dominio eminente, una doctrina legal mediante la cual el gobierno confisca las casas y propiedades de las personas para poder construir centros de datos. Miren el clip, por favor.
Hey, my name is Ansley. I wanted to come out here and show you guys firsthand what is happening in Coweta County, Georgia. Here in Coweta County, Georgia, Georgia Power is forcibly taking people's homes, okay? They have no choice in this matter. As you can see behind me, these are the power lines, and this is my childhood home. My childhood home is being taken by Georgia Power. They are going to bulldoze this entire property to the ground. We don't have a choice in this. They are going to be expanding these power lines. Why? For the data centers. All of this is for the data centers. And you may think this might not affect you personally, but what happens when they come for your house next?
Ahora, quiero compartir con ustedes al podcaster de MAGA, Andrew Schulz. Este tipo lavó la imagen de la oligarquía, lavó la imagen de Donald Trump y de MAGA durante las elecciones del 2024, y aquí está ahora mismo atacando a los aduladores de Donald Trump que dicen, y tienen a estas personas como Scott Jennings y otros que intentan apoyar todo lo que hace este régimen sin sentido. Este tipo es un podcaster de MAGA. Miren, por favor.
Here's something. He's like, yeah, obviously the Pope doesn't know what's in the Bible. Trump knows what's in the Bible.
No, he did not say that.
He said, like, based off of the rhetoric going on, obviously Trump must know more about Christianity than the Pope.
Sarcastically or dead fucking serious.
He's being serious.
Yo, what is going on?
Yo, that's a hard job to just cap for that motherfucker all the
Yeah, I
time.
know,
Like,
right?
yo, just let it go, man. He's fucking up everything. Just call it what it is. Like, you don't have to fucking cap for this dude. Like, I see that guy, Scott Jennings, he's losing hair. Do you know that guy who was on CNN and his job to just be like, everything Trump is doing is right?
Yeah.
You could tell he is stressed. He's cursing at little teenagers they got out there arguing them. Every new CNN guy is younger than the last one.
Yeah.
Right? He's like a 14-year-old putting his finger in his face. Get your fucking hand out of my face. Like, he's stressed. He's trying, because there's no way. Like, how long? Open it straight.
Y luego tienen a alguien como JD Vance, el vicepresidente de Estados Unidos, hablando, donde niega las mismísimas palabras que salieron de la boca de Donald Trump. Seamos claros, Donald Trump dijo que no le importa la condición financiera de los estadounidenses. Él lo dijo y JD Vance dice, oh, bueno, él no dijo eso. Sí, sí lo dijo. Y los estadounidenses están hartos de que le hagan esto. Seas un podcaster de MAGA o de los estados de MAGA, lo que sea, las personas están hartas de este comportamiento, de este régimen idiota, de este régimen peligroso. Miren el clip, por favor.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
I don't think the president said that. I think that's a misrepresentation of what the president said. But look, I agree with the president that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon.
Ahora, hablando de estados rojos, estuvo el expresidente Barack Obama con James Taylor y con Texas. Barack Obama recibió una bienvenida de superhéroe. Miren, por favor.
Hey!
Mr. President.
Good to see you, brother.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Good to see you. Hey, people. I hear the tacos here are okay.
They're amazing.
They're not bad. That's the word on the street. Lilia, this is your spot. This is your joint. So what I'm thinking is, got to get the street taco. I need maybe like a holy moly.
I'll have a street taco, no onions.
I think I know your order.
Yeah, breakfast tacos.
Potato, egg, and cheese.
That's right. I come here a lot, so she knows.
Oh, you got something there. No, I'm teasing. This looks like a table of troublemakers right here. Who's this cutie?
This is my baby niece, Jane.
Hey, you. And what's my name? That's me.
She's been saying Barack Obama, so she's almost got it.
Listen, that's better than most.
Bob Brooks, president of the Pennsylvania Professional Firefighters Association, running for Pennsylvania's 7th against a MAGA Republican Congress member, Ryan McKenzie, who from time to time tries to pretend he's not a MAGA Republican Congress member. He tries to act, I'm just one of the people, man. I'm one of the cool people here, which is just a whole thing that we'll get into. There's a primary coming up on May 19th, which we should mention as well. We'll get into it all. You and I spoke several months back about the pain that Trump and MAGA and people like McKenzie, a wolf in sheep's clothing, if you will, were inflicting on the 7th, all of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for that, frankly, around the country. Talk to us about what you're hearing right now as you're on the campaign trail. Are things changed, getting worse? So talk to us about it.
They're getting worse. You can just tell when you're talking to people, they don't like going to fill up their gas tank anymore, right? Things are double, triple what they used to cost. As a small business owner, I think we talked about this last time. I have 3 diesel pickup trucks to use to push snow, and I don't drive them much right now because I don't want to fill them up. But I was talking to a guy just the other day, a friend of mine who owns a small business, and he does trophies and stuff. And with all the taxes and the tariffs and everything that's been levied on a small business, like he's struggling to make ends meet. He's struggling to keep things going. It's destroying him. So, when we see that happening, that's disheartening. And we like to call Ryan McKenzie the arsonist, because he starts all these fires and then 2 weeks later says, "Oh, I'm going to put up this bill. I'm going to co-sponsor this and co-sponsor that." It's too late, man. You already started the fire.
That's kind of a trend we've seen a lot, though, with MAGA in general. It's why, we're seeing a new class of people running for Congress, maybe who never thought they were going to be running for Congress. I'm not sure if you ever thought, I'm going to be a Congress member one day. And we're seeing people with unique backgrounds, skills, experiences, small business owners, union leaders, et cetera. And I got to step in to the arena, because what we're seeing is, these MAGAs like Ryan McKenzie and the Trumps of the world, they come into towns like yours, they talk a big game, they promise the world, they lie, they cause all of the problems. Then they go, "Look, everybody, I'm the one who can fix it. I'm the one who can fix it." And then it's a constant blame game, Ponzi scheme cycle that just kind of never ends. And frankly, it needs to end. And I say this just generally, I just think people want competent leaders who are listening to the people right now, who can hear what the people are experiencing. None of these con artists.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. As the president of my local, now the president of the state association, where I've been working for my members. So we have about 8,000 members, 75 different locals that all rely on us to work for them. And that's all I think I want to do is bring common sense, working class people's problems to Washington, D.C., because right now we don't believe we're being thought of or cared about. And I think that's problematic. So when you start talking to people, they left the Democratic Party. A whole group of people left the Democratic Party because they felt like it was become the party of elites, and they went over either independent or Republican. And if they went to Republican, they're feeling lied to right now. So that's what they're seeing. It just they get lied to and sold a bill of goods, and it just doesn't settle. So I think I have the unique ability to bring them back. Just a working class guy, get up. I work every day. I've usually worked multiple jobs at a time just to make ends meet. And I've kind of lived the life that a lot of them are living right now.
Talk to us about, I know we've seen Republicans, they ain't holding back in their bag of deceit and trickery and election meddling and trying to rig these midterms. I mean, we've seen it all over the country. And, it's interesting when you just zoom in on any district. I zoom in on your district. It's just fascinating that they jump into races and then try to undermine, candidates in very unique ways. Talk to us about like what you're seeing there, because clearly, they're feeling pressure. And I just think it's a good case study because I could probably pick out lots of other races and they're doing the same thing. And it's just like, can't you all just win on the ideas? Like, can't we just go around and go, say, here's my plan. Here's your plan. You told us that tariffs were going to be great. They weren't great. You told us catastrophic endless wars are going to be great. They're not great. You told us taking away healthcare was going to lead to more healthcare. That didn't happen. Here's my, like, why can't it just be that versus all this crap of noise and division?
And that's why I got into this, is I think that's the way it should be. But as we're seeing right here in PA7, the GOP and the super PAC just jumped into our race yesterday and started trying to prop up one of my Democratic opponents. They're obviously afraid of us. I'm definitely the candidate they don't want to see in a general election. They attack every day, but now they're starting to run ads, send mailers, all negative against me. And, that's what's wrong with our political system. It's corrupt. And to allow a GOP super PAC to just parachute in 10 days before our election and try and affect it, like, that shouldn't be okay. That shouldn't be something that we do. So, I mean, we're in it. We're fighting the heck out of this, but we need to flip this seat. We need to take this seat, flip it, and then be able to go down and fight against this kind of stuff. I'd love to throw out that if anybody wants to chip in a few bucks and help, it's it's brooksforcongress.com. We could use all the help we can because, like I say, this super PAC just came in and started dumping like $500,000 in ads and stuff. So it just stared yesterday. We're trying to affect our election.
I just remember, man, I'd love to hear how, how you're connecting with working folks, because I just remember too, when Trump was running that campaign, do you remember he would like quite literally dress people up as firefighter union members, and they weren't part of the union and they weren't firefighters, and he would like put the firefighter hats on people, and then he would go, "Where are my firefighters at?" And he would point to these people who weren't there, and then he would go to Michigan and he would, in a non-union shop, he would call it union workers, union workers for Trump, and they weren't union workers. It would just say, and they would, and then, I think they paid him like $25K to rent out the space. And, with kind of the way corporate news just spews out these narratives, the local news does, the 15-second spot. Donald Trump said, hello to the firefighters. You show them, and they're not really firefighters, or you show the union workers, they're not union workers, and Donald Trump and people like McKenzie, in my opinion, have always been kind of stolen valor people, and not just stealing the valor of military, but stealing the valor of working class union people and trying to roll up their sleeves and go, look, I'm one of you. I'm one of you. So what's kind of your how do you fight that as you're going around? How do you deal with that machine and just, speak with people and go, that's bullshit. They're liars.
Well, we were able to show him. I mean, Donald Trump just did it here. He was up at the casino. I think it's in PA8 area that was just outside of our district. But literally, he brought a guy up on stage and, claimed he was a fireman and profiting from the no tax on overtime, which 90% of our guys didn't get the benefit from anyways. but the guy wasn't a paid fireman. Like, I just don't understand how they keep spewing the garbage. But my thing is, like, my members, they know me. Guys like Josh Shapiro, Bernie Sanders, who have endorsed his campaign, they know me. They know what I'm about. They know how I work. So that helps. When I got local leaders like Mayor Matt Turk, Nick Miller, Pete Schweier, Mike Schlossberg from Lehigh County, like, all jumping into this and supporting me, like, that helps. So when people respect those people, they know they wouldn't do this just on a whim. They understand me. They know my work ethic. They know what I'm about. And that helps me when I'm talking to people. But my members, they know I fight for them every day. Like I say, I get about 8,000 members across the Commonwealth, and they know what I've done to get bills passed in Harrisburg and to get bills passed in Washington. So it's not a question for them. And I hope people listen to what, Josh Shapiro, Bernie Sanders, and a whole ton of firefighters and labor believe. And I hope they believe them over the nonsense that's being spread.
Bob, one more time, where can people learn more about your campaign?
BrooksForCongress.com.
There you have it, everybody. Bob Brooks running for Pennsylvania's 7th Congressional District, primary coming up May 19th, which just so happens to be my birthday. Thereafter, MAGA Republican Ryan McKenzie, who has done catastrophic damage to the district and the Commonwealth. It's on the ballot, so stay tuned. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Bueno, amigos, yo sé que este video se hizo un poco largo, más que todo por lo último, pero espero de todo corazón que lo hayan visto porque considero que es información sumamente importante. Y para las personas que llegaron al final del video, permítanme decirles que gracias. Gracias, fue un video largo de ver y espero de todo corazón que les haya gustado. Si fue así, por favor pónganmelo en los comentarios. Recuerden que si les gusta el contenido de política estadounidense, les va a encantar suscribirse en el canal, ya que subo videos como estos todos los días. Mi nombre es José Alvarado, soy economista y estoy comprometido a informarlos diariamente. Nos vemos en el siguiente video. Adiós.